My name is Chinedu Nwakadu, and I'm a photographer. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, to Paul and Clara Nwakadu. My first time being in photography was when my family traveled to Nigeria. It was in 2012, and at that time, my parents gave me a camera, and I just started taking pictures. But when I came back to the States, I started taking pictures of my friends. Then when I graduated, I just, started taking it more seriously, and I started reaching out to a couple people on Instagram, and just started making things more composed. I started out doing painting, and then it just kind of evolved into photography. I would go to different mediums. Photography's been my main thing, so I want to go back into painting eventually. I started with a Canon Rebel T3, and after I started taking pictures of my friends in school, I just started playing around. I shot pictures of my sister, and then I would just take pictures of random things and just go from there. Like growing up as a kid, like my dad, he used to take photos of us when we were younger, and he told me how he had stopped taking photography because it got so expensive with film. And I'm understanding that now. Right now, I do medium format and 35 millimeter. I use a Hasselblad 500 ELM to shoot 120 film, and a Minolta, I can't remember the name. I think it's a Minolta Freedom. And I just buy film from the store or online, and then I just shoot whatever comes to mind. Yeah, for me, film is more natural, and it's fun because with digital, digital is too perfect. And so with film, you have your mistakes. Like I did this one shoot where I shot on medium format and 35, and the 35 didn't load right. And when I went to get it developed, the whole row was blank. But it taught me a lesson. And so that next time I learned from that mistake, so that way I can do better. It's weird, like to me, everybody has a unique feature to them. It usually depends on what idea I have. One inspiration of me was how Kanye does his Yeezy shows. Like every model, every piece fits with a model. And that's one thing I started to think about whenever I would choose a model. Atlanta definitely has its own type of it has its own sense of culture. And so, whether it be from the artists like Childish Gambino, he's really one of my favorite inspirations, because I believe when I became a fan of him when it was, Because the Internet came out, that really changed my perspective on a lot of things. And so, I take a lot from just emotions, just conversations, and just, certain bits and pieces of everywhere I go. But Atlanta has definitely put its mark on me, and just the roots it has really shown me a lot. Two people that inspired the book when I was going into it was Frank Ocean and Tyler Mitchell. I bought Frank Ocean's Boys Don't Cry magazine, and I bought it for myself as a birthday gift. And just seeing, the images of just the past years while he was gone, it really inspired me. And Tyler Mitchell, he had gone to Cuba right when I think the ban was lifted. And so, it was crazy because I was like, oh wow, I want to do something similar to this because I'm going to Nigeria. And so it really, I wanted to do everything on film because it would feel more natural instead of, digital, because I can edit it any way I want to, but with film, it's one shot and whatever comes out, comes out. My first time going to Nigeria in 2012, it was definitely, I was 18, so, I was about to graduate high school, and it was my first trip going out of the country. And so it was really different because compared to my living standards here, it was way different over there. They don't have constant electricity, no constant electricity. no running water like that. Like, I remember one day at my household, at my compound, we had running water. And so literally almost the whole village was there, because if they couldn't get water there, they'd have to walk 45 minutes down to the river just to get a little bit of water for themselves. But it's very, you know, it's refreshing, because when I was over there, I felt like I was outside of a bubble. And so, you know, it was a breather, because, you know, everything that happened on social media, I would see it, but I can't really, you know, I can just brush it off, because it's like, hey, I'm not there. But, you know, the culture is very similar to America, because they're influenced by America with the movies, with the phone, with the fashion, everything, you know. It matches up really well, because it's like the drums, like the 808s that Atlanta would have, you know, it kind of blends in together. But, you know, they do have a sense of pride, and it's very beautiful. It's very lush over there, you know, very green, and it's this, like, my favorite thing about over there is that you can see the sun very differently than you can here. Like, you can see it more clear than it is over here. One thing I took away from my trip is to really just, you know, be more in touch with my heritage, because most of my peers can't really say that they've been back home, because, you know, some people come here from Nigeria and aren't able to make it back, or, you know, they never get that chance to visit their parents' home. Because, you know, growing up, I feel like everybody should visit their heritage or their parental maternal home, just to see what, you know, just to get a sense of like who they are. Because I feel like with everyone, it's different for everyone, but, you know, being in your home country really, you know, puts a lot more to perspective for you. My dad was born there, and he came over here for school in the 80s, and then my mom did the same as well. I went to this site called Blurb, and my friend Nico, he helped me design the outlook of the book, you know, the pages design. And we went through 4 rounds of image selection, because I took over 200 to 300 photos in a month I was in Nigeria, and only 100 pictures could go into the book. To be honest, it was really hard. Like, it was really hard. Like, I had a lot of the ones I wanted to put in the book couldn't make it. So, you know, it's like, even when I got down to like, okay, hey, you know, this is what we could put in, you know, we still had to cut some more. So I had to make a tough decision on which ones to put in the book. But the outcome was pretty good, so, you know, I'm happy about that. I do have my book. This one is a picture of my dad's house and his compound. It took 10 years to get this house built. So they started in 2001, and it wasn't really finished till around 2011. This photo is one of my favorites because, you know, when you go to Nigeria, you know, I had seen this boy, and I asked if I could take his picture. He was like, sure. So it's one of my favorite photos, because it's like, out of everything I saw there, he like just stood out so perfectly, and like his composure was just perfect. Let me see. This is another one of my favorite photos. It was the morning that we were leaving. Yeah, it was the morning we were leaving from the village, and this is my cousin's kids, so I just asked to take a picture of them, and, you know, they just posed naturally. Trying to see. Another one of my favorites is the stuff on her face is is baby powder, because it was so hot. So they had, she put baby powder on her face so that way she can cool off. And then this photo, I love the composition of it because it was so retro. Like, I had never seen this before. Like, and the way it was like just sitting there, I had to get a photo of it because this was in my aunt's house. So I really wanted to get a photo of how it was composed. Oh. This photo, AKA the cover of the book, is this one was shot from the back when it was going away, and like the way the sun is positioned on it, I didn't expect it to come out like this. So when I saw how it came out, I was really surprised, but that really says a lot about how the sun is over there versus how it is over here. Let me see. Another, I really had to fight. Like, I begged this man to get his photo because, you know, I first heard about Hood by Air, like, I think sometime in high school, like 2-3 years ago. So, or like, not high school, but, you know, just way back then, 2-3 years ago. But I asked him for this photo because, like, in Africa, period, there's a lot of, like, you know, a lot of designer clothes, and you can't really tell what's real or fake, but sometimes you can know. But I really wanted his photo because it was so unique, and then the colors really matched up, and I didn't like the colors throughout the book. I didn't necessarily like compose it right. It was just I don't know, it felt right because I was like, hey, you know, stand right here, and I just took the picture. Because back then, I didn't really know too much about just composing. I just had people stand where it looked right. There's one more photo, I'm trying to find it. No, not that one. Oh, hope I didn't miss it. Yep, here we go, perfect. So this photo right here, this is of my niece. I don't know how I captured it, but it's one of my favorites because, like, just, this is really how this really captures like our culture in a way. But I think this is another one of my favorites because this is one of the formations that I had seen while I was walking, because my sister and I had to go. We had just walked down to the river. Driving was like, you know, 10 minutes, but walking down there and back was about an hour and a half. And y'all could have seen that walk. It was crazy. But the cover of the book is pronounced Ine, and it's dedicated to the motherland and to my parents. So that way, you know, it's just my thanks for them for bringing me to the world and just bringing me over there to see, you know, their way of life. This picture I took of my niece earlier this year on her birthday, and my niece is really one of the biggest inspirations of my life, and you know, it's like her energy just, you know, makes me want to go harder, and you know, I'm really thankful for her. Let me see. Oh. This is this photo's from my book, but it's really striking to me because, you know, I just said, hey, you know, let me take your picture. He's like, okay, you know, and he just posed like this, and this is how it came out. Let me see. What's next? Oh. This one is of my cousin, and I think it was my first time meeting her. Yeah, I believe it was my first time meeting her. And so, you know, I really wanted to get this picture because of the Michael Kors earring, because I've never seen that before. So I had really liked how it looked, and the way the composition was, but I really just wanted to get her picture because of the earrings as well. Wow, I forgot I had this in here. This photo came to mind because when I was growing up, you know, we would regularly go to church every Sunday and all. But for me, I was the type to always, you know, look through the Bible for pictures or, you know, the little drawings and all. And I had never seen black angels, like a black angel, so I decided I wanted to make my own. And this is how the photo came out. I wanted to just, you know, just depict how it looked in my mind. This one is it's one of my other favorites because, like, my friends and I, we had went out into the country to shoot a video, and so we were leaving. So, you know, I was like, you know, let me test this out. Let me get some photos of him because this is my girlfriend's brother, and I love how, you know, the parade was just lined up in the lens, and on his haircut, this is for the group inside. So I wanted to just capture both of them because the way the composition and just everything, how it looked from the colors, from the sheet, it just matched up perfectly. I'm in collaboration with one of my friends, and we're gonna be having an exhibit in a book for it. But, you know, I'm definitely working on pushing out more, working on doing short films, so that way, you know, I could push more yeah, working on videos, so that way I could get more going within my mind.
Cool. Did you bring any pictures that you want to talk about?
Today, you know, in this day and age, you know, like, I want to say maybe around, because I started taking photography seriously in around 2014 when I took a photography class at school, because that's when I really started getting into film. But for me, you know, since, you know, everybody these days, everybody is a photographer, because, you know, either whether it's with your phone or with you know, a DSLR, you know, you can really make a photo from anything these days. But it's become saturized for me, like, or not saturized, but, you know, oversaturated. But I'm working more into, you know, just going to other mediums because it's fun, but I wanted to, you know, push past that. I want to be able to do more of my photos. I want it to be, it's a starting point for sure, but I'm definitely going to go into more, what's the word I'm looking for? More medium. Right now, besides painting, I'm going into videos because I want to be able to direct, because I want to be able to put people into my own world. So that way, you know, people can see what goes on my mind and my thought process in the composition. In the next 10 years, I do want to have my own company. Yeah, I do want to have my own company. I want to be able to have organization, so that way, you know, I can support people like me coming up, especially, you know, people coming from other countries, especially Nigeria or anywhere within the African, you know, within Africa. So that way they can, you know, be able to have something, because growing up within my family, within my culture, it's more typical to, you know, get an education first, then follow your dreams. But nowadays, you know, some of my peers, they're just following their dreams first and just doing what they can for themselves. Like one person that I can think of that's a Nigerian artist that was following his dream was Tyler, the Creator. And so he's definitely somebody that, you know, I can say, like, I was like, wow, because for me, growing up, I was kind of like, I don't want to say like I was a black sheep, but I wouldn't follow what I was told to do for, like, you know, like, oh, you know, you're gonna be this. I'm like, no, I'm gonna do what I want to do. So it kind of just went to my own tune. You can find me on Instagram at DUMOARLES, and it's pronounced do more less.